everyone, I'm Melissa McAllister, and you're listening to The Melissa Made Show. Now, for decades, I've dedicated myself to helping women break the cycle of dieting, navigate through all the fads, and change their lives through my nutrition coaching. Now, each week, I'm going to talk about everything from deep nutrition, mindset, self-care, the ideal workout routine, tips on how and why to implement intermittent fasting in your life, my favorite recipes that are not only crowd pleasers, but they're actually healthy for you, and so much more. Now, with small and consistent changes, you can defy aging while living a happier, healthier, and more heart-filled life. I'm so excited to show you it's possible with the right strategies that are so simple to adopt. Hey everybody, welcome to the Melissa Made Show. So I am going to run through 10 things for you that might be keeping you from reaching your health and fitness goals. A lot of times, whether they're people that follow me on social media or they're people that are working with me like on a one-on-one setting, a lot of times I hear, I'm doing all the things and I can't lose this weight. Okay, so let's talk about all the things. Okay, so I've got 10 things I hope to rifle through for you, and really hoping that one or two of these actually really resonate with you. And you're like, oh, well, maybe this is the one thing or two things or three things, who knows? But I got a list right next to me and we're going to go through them really quickly. And I'm just really hoping that one of them is just like the aha moment that I needed to finally reach that goal. Number one, you're always trying something new. So, information overload, right? I personally can't open my social media, and and let me give you a tip. My social media used to be where I was following a ton of health and fitness professionals, a ton, and it got really exhausting and really overwhelming to the point that I was complicating things. So you're always wanting to try something new. Like you see, oh my gosh, this goddess is eating this for breakfast. I've got to eat this. Oh, but wait a minute. This guy is telling me I can't eat this. I should eat this. So I'm not going to eat that. But this person over here is training this way. Maybe I should totally ditch the way that I'm training and do it this way. And so you just never give yourself enough time to settle down and try something long enough to go, you know what, this is something sustainable for me. I love this breakfast. I could eat it every day for the rest of my life. Or on the opposite end of the scale, you're like, this was terrible. And I see that it kind of worked, but I could not do this for more than the 30 days I gave it. And I just said 30 days because if you even think about it, most people will ask you, like, if there's a food that we're pretty sure is causing you some sort of, inflammation or distress, we'll ask you to take it out for 30 days. It's really going to take that long for you to take something out of your diet to see whether or not it is affecting you like we suspect it is. You can't take it out of your diet for 3 days or 7 days. It's got to be a good length of time. So I want to encourage you the same thing when it comes to trying something new. You see something, you're like, ooh, this is kind of cool. This might be something I can see myself doing. Try it, but give it a good length of time, unless you're like, 10 days in and maybe it's a training style and you're feeling yourself hurting. Don't go the whole 30 days. You get my gist. But if you're always constantly trying something new and not really giving something enough of a fair shake for a long period of time, careful with, what you're consuming on your social media, because it may be keeping you in that mindset that I've got to try this, I've got to try that. And you probably don't, because I'm here to tell you the more simple that you keep your lifestyle, the more sustainable and the better results that you're going to get with your health and fitness goals. Okay, that's number one. Number two is tracking. I am not a tracker when it comes to, every calorie that goes in my mouth, every macro that goes in my mouth. I have a good idea because I used to do that. And I do think in the beginning, it's important to kind of track, especially the types of food that you're eating and how much you're eating, because you have to learn to be very visual about that. And so you're going to do some tracking in the beginning, and I'm guilty of this. I've got, like I just cut up a bunch of strawberries, and I put a big bowl of beautiful strawberries in the fridge. But every time I was opening the fridge, I was grabbing quite a few. Not a big deal. But, if it's a big old bag of M&Ms, which, that's happened before too. And you walk by, you got a candy bowl and you grab a couple here and you grab a couple there, or you don't track necessarily the dressing that you put on your salad. That is, Mick and I were talking about this the other day. We're taking a walk, and I kind of had to defend the people a little bit that have more weight to lose, because in his mind, he's like, they must eat a lot of food. I'm like, absolutely not. They could actually probably eat the same amount of food that you eat, but they're just putting maybe a lot more dressing on their salad, not really realizing that they're putting 900 calories on their salad versus us putting, maybe 200 or 300 calories of dressing on our salad. It's very easy to hide those oils and those dressings and those dips, and we don't necessarily count them, but they make a huge difference in the calories. So I really want you to track your food. If you did it in the past and it worked for you and you kind of thought you had it, but all of a sudden you're putting weight back on, or you can't lose this, 7-8 pounds that you've had lingering for a while, go back to tracking. Okay. And make sure that you're tracking everything, because you might find that's the reason why you're not able to get where you want to go. Same with your activity. I'm going to tell you, I'm guilty of all these because it's true. This is my list. Activity. Most of you guys know that I've really picked up walking. I've almost done it now for a year. In July, it'll be a year that I've committed to walking, at least 30 minutes a day, every day. And it's made a huge difference in how much I can eat, how lean I am, for sure, how lean I am. I keep, I actually am now, I know this sounds awful, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to change my diet a little bit to keep from continuing to lose body fat, because I've honed in on my diet so well that I know how to lose body fat and keep muscle and actually grow muscle. But I'm like, okay, Melissa, you're really, I'm looking very muscularly, skeletally, and trying to put more carbohydrates back into my diet so that I can look more full. So if you're watching the YouTube video right now, or maybe even the reel, good enough. So track that activity as well. And so you go and you do your hard workout for 30, 45 minutes, and you're like, oh, I nailed it. I did my activity today. And then you sit on a chair for the rest of the day. Check your steps as well. Okay. I would love to see you at least at 7,500, 8,000. I really personally like that 10,000 step number for me. I think because I love to walk, love it. I would walk for hours a day. I do. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm practicing my Spanish. I'm catching up with you guys. So I use that time to be social and to learn. And so I really enjoy it. So 10,000 steps for me, but track your food and track your activity outside of the one workout that you do in a day. It's got to be much more than that. Number 3, you think there's a deadline. So you're exercising and you're eating in a way that there's a deadline to this. And all of a sudden you're going to be able to go back to the way that it was. You're going to be able to eat a little naughtier. You're going to be able to be less active. You can't think that way. There's no deadline to this healthy lifestyle that you're trying to create. So you've got to change that in your mind, that as soon as I get to this weight, or as soon as, I've been doing this, I've been lifting these weights for 6 months, I'm going to have the muscle that I want, and I'm not going to have to work so hard. There's no deadline. You are trying to create a sustainable lifestyle that keeps you happy, healthy, fit, all of these things in an enjoyable manner. And there is no deadline to that. Okay. Get that out of your head. 0 deadline. Start date right now or yesterday, but no deadline. You complicate things, kind of like number 1. So 1, 2, 3, number 4 is that you complicate things too much. It's really important that you keep things simple. That's really hard. That's really hard to do because of all of technology out there. You've got, how many kinds of studios are there out there, right? There's dance studios, there's Pilates studios, there's yoga, there's CrossFit, there's, just a typical big box gym, all of these different ways to work out. And there's meal services, and you've got some doctors telling you not to touch a vegetable, some doctors telling you not to touch meat. Tell me you understand. And see, I'm coming in close to my microphone and I'm whispering, tell me you understand. It boils down to just the foundations of health, which is having, a diet that's rich in your macronutrients and your micronutrients. You're getting hydrated, that sleep is a priority, which is one of the things we'll talk about. You control your stress, right? It's these things. You have real food, real food. You have great relationships with people. I mean, that's not complicated. That's a very simple way to live. But if you just keep track of these things, you'd be really surprised how well your body responds. Okay, so keep it simple. Maybe you're overcomplicating things. Number 5, I hear this a lot. You eat, and I'm doing my air quotes, you eat clean, okay? And this is not your fault, but there are so many diet foods out there and really highly processed foods that will show that they're, good for muscle growth or they're good for fat loss. Prime example, as I'm recording this, Mick and Joel are driving to Mexico, and Joel took a picture he goes, look what I found. It's a Snickers bar that's lower in sugar and higher in protein. No different than, a Promax bar or a Built bar or a Quest bar. It really isn't. I mean, those are all candy bars as well. They're just, the macros are just a little bit different, but they're candy bars. And that's so, in some people's mind, that's clean because it's, I'm hitting it's 20 grams of protein. The sugars are lower. These nutritionists tell me to watch my sugars. There's only 4.5 grams of sugar in it. This is clean eating. It's great every once in a blue moon. I mean, especially if you want a candy bar, hey, get the high protein candy bar. Fantastic. But you have to know in your mind, that's not eating clean. That's a treat. Okay. That's not lunch. It's not helping you meet your protein quota. It's a treat, and treat it as a treat. Treat it as such, knowing that these highly processed or these, diet foods that cater to what's popular right now, like there's, which I actually think is kind of legitimate. It's an example, but it's also a tip. Like I get this biltong beef jerky, that's grass-fed beef jerky, Himalayan salt, and apple cider vinegar are the only ingredients. And then there's the carnivore snacks, which I've just recently found, which I think are great. And it's nothing but, quality meat, grass-fed, organic, and Himalayan salt. That's it. It's processed, but it's not highly processed. And you can consider it a diet food because it's really high protein, but it's really just literally, it's just a chicken breast with some salt. That's more doable. Okay. So if you need things on the run, it's all comes down to the ingredients, and is it real food, and is it, coming from a really good source, as opposed to a Snickers that is promoting high protein, lower sugars, which is a treat, not part of your healthy diet. Okay. You're not eating clean when you're having a Snickers, but we've been taught that's the truth. Okay. Have you tried countless diets, but you're still seeking your nutrition sweet spot? Are you trying to get results on your health journey to feel your best without being too restrictive? Now, I know how you feel. I've done the diet thing, but there never was that one that totally worked for me. And this is exactly why I developed the MAID diet. Now, I found that rather than restrictions, it's best to have a set of guidelines that allow you to customize based on your preferences and bio-individuality while staying on track with your health and fitness goals. I found the nutrition sweet spot. And as a health and nutrition expert, I get asked all the time what, when, and how I eat. And as someone who's passionate about education and helping others, I want to share that with you. Now, the MAID Diet ebook lays it all out for you, taking the guesswork out of dieting. The MAID Diet is a lifestyle plan that incorporates moderate protein, adequate fat, decreased carbs, and an introduction to intermittent fasting. The ebook gets right down to business by answering your most frequently asked questions. It includes thoughtfully designed recipes and a 7-day sample meal plan to start you off right. It will honestly kickstart your weight loss journey and have you losing inches in your very first week. Now, intermittent fasting combined with these nutritional guidelines is honestly the piece that so many people have been missing when trying to get results. This ebook has all the information you need in a format that is condensed and to the point so that you can get to your results. If you're ready to get started, the Made Diet ebook is available immediately on my website for just $9.99. So head over to melissamadeonline.com/made diet to take action towards feeling your best today. And once you do, oh my gosh, please let me know it's working for you. I am so honored to be a part of your health journey. Okay, back to the show. You let off on the weekend. So for me, I still do some sort of workout in the morning, even on the weekends. I'll always walk. And even if it's just to go stretch, I will do that, because if I do that workout, it helps keep me on track on my food as well for the weekend, because this is me, that if I mentally think to myself, oh, I'm not exercising today. So I also tend to be more off plan that day. But if I do the exercise, even on the weekend, or, stay within my routine, I tend to eat better than when I get off my routine in other areas as well. If I don't walk, if I don't go up to the gym and do some sort of movement to start my day off in the typical way that I do, then it's kind of like everything goes out the window. And so for you, a good tip for you is, if you find yourself really going crazy on the weekends, work out on the weekends. And even if that means on the weekday, you get to take your days off and have your rest day on a Wednesday, but because you're at work or you've got the schedule, you still tend to eat good, then work out on the weekends and stay better on track. And not only that, but you've heard, so what matters is how many calories you have within the week, more than how many calories you have within the day. So if you're working in a range of calories and you just know without a shadow of a doubt, you love to spend happy hour with your friends Friday after work, and you have a drink, you maybe have 2 drinks, and you have, a little appetizer, and let's just say that's 500 calories. Okay. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, you pull 100 calories back so that you can have that, and you're still staying within your goal of, wanting to be in a slight deficit so that you can lose a little bit of body fat that you've been working to lose. It's easy to do. So you don't have to be exactly at 1,700 calories every single day, Monday through Sunday. Instead, you can vary that a little bit and pull a little bit here to add a little bit there, and be perfectly fine to keep you so you're not going off the rails on the weekend, and still gonna, Monday be like, okay, from Monday to Sunday, I did fantastic. I stayed within my calorie goal for each day of the week, instead of, oh my gosh, I blew it on Saturday because I had an extra 500 calories. So I'm going to screw it on Sunday and I'll start again on Monday. You planned for that, and it was okay. And you enjoyed yourself, and there was zero guilt, right? Okay. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just hell bent and you punish yourself because you've got that last anywhere from 3 to 7 pounds to lose. And it's all you think about, and you're so mad at yourself because you keep, kiboshing yourself, and you feel like you're doing all the right things, and you'd be so much happier with this extra, just say 5 pounds off. Consider this: instead of focusing on the scale in that 5 pounds, what if instead you really bulked up on the weight a little bit? And did that just scare you with that bulk word? Please don't let it. It ain't going to happen unless you're doing some stuff on the side. You're not going to get bulky, ladies. Okay. You got to be doing some stuff on the side to get the big muscles. So, but maybe adding 5 pounds of muscle instead of thinking that you need to lose 5 pounds of fat will shape your body exactly how you want it. Right. Honestly, 5 pounds more, if you're just that close, and adding a little bit more muscle, or, working to grow that muscle a little bit, and you don't necessarily lose that fat, you're going to have a little bit more, capped shoulders. Your lats might be a little bit bigger, making your waist look smaller. Your glutes might grow a little bit, giving you great booty. Focus on that instead. If those last few pounds just are making your life miserable, screw them, leave them on. And in fact, maybe put a couple of pounds of muscle on to balance the body so that you're like, oh, I look good. I've always been heavier than I look. Always been heavier than I look. Same with my daughter. She's the same. We have great genes, at building muscle and can build a good amount of muscle. I was just talking to my girlfriend, Roseanne, this morning. My daughter and I both have really big rib cages. We've got big ribs. And so I'm okay with that. We have always, when I tell people how much I weigh, which, in my whole lifetime, I've been anywhere from, let's just say 135 pounds to, gosh, how heavy did I get with? I want to say maybe almost 180 pounds pregnant at full term, around there. So that huge gamut all over the place, but my body is very comfortable in the high 40s. So for someone that's 5'7" on a really good day, hey, that's a little high. They say, and now that muscle's finally getting its due respect, but they usually say at 5 foot, you should weigh about 100 pounds. And then for women, for every inch that you are above that is another 5 pounds. So if you're 5'5", you should weigh 125 pounds, 5'7", 135. For maybe 1 minute in my life, I weighed 135 pounds accidentally, but I'm usually 10 pounds heavier than that because I do carry a lot of muscle. So get over I need to lose those last few pounds. Okay. It's okay. Especially if you have muscle mass or build that muscle mass that makes you a little bit heavier. You're going to look better anyway. Being heavier with a little bit more muscle is way better than skinny with hardly any muscle. I 100% believe that. And I know you do too. How about having a woe is me mindset? Oh, she can eat so much and I can't. And gosh, she goes to the gym, for 2 months. And now all of a sudden you see these biceps and these triceps. You can see your hamstrings. That doesn't work for me. Woe is me. Okay. The mindset that you have is so powerful. I want you to wake up. What do I say? Wake up feeling prepared, go to bed feeling proud. But I do want you to wake up grateful that, if you can stand up on 2 legs and take a walk, oh my gosh, be grateful. If you can pick up 5-pound dumbbells and do some curls, be grateful for that. If you can, do a little bit of HIIT training, if you can sit down and you have the means to make yourself a beautiful, colorful salad, be grateful for that. Always think about the positives that you have on this journey, as opposed to the things that you are thinking are negative and you feel bad because you don't have this or you can't get this. Change that mindset. Always have a positive mindset. Your body responds so much better to positivity than negativity. Okay. You'd be really surprised how powerful that is. Okay. Number 9, sleep. I know now some of you can't help it. You've got little tiny itty bitties. I did an assessment today and my client, she's pregnant. She says, I'm not sleeping very well. I get it. We're trying to, do the best that we can to create that sleep schedule, but it's just going to happen. You are a shift worker. I understand that. But if you're not, and you are doing this whole, sitting down, because this is how you relax. I want to encourage you to find another way to relax. You sit down in front of Netflix and you watch a movie an hour before you go to bed with a big old snack and a big old glass of water or pink lemonade or whatever. It's going to interrupt your sleep. And when you don't sleep well, science has proven that you eat more because your hunger and your satiety hormones are all messed up. You give less energy expenditure because you're freaking tired. You don't want to, have pep in your step when you walk. You don't want to lift the heavy weights. You don't want to do that HIIT training and half-ass it. Sleep allows you to rest and repair, get all your hormones back in check, get your mind cleaned out, and you're going to wake up feeling refreshed and have the energy to give it your all that day. Okay. So sleep, 7-8 hours needs to be prioritized. Big deal. When you don't get enough sleep, you also increase your stress levels. And we all know what happens when you increase your stress levels. Again, the hormones, the belly fat. Sleep is so important. You've heard me say this before. I have to attest the fact that I'm an excellent sleeper to being able to stay lean into my almost 50s. That's hard to say, you guys. It's hard to say. I feel 20. But sleep has played a huge role in that. And there's a great rule of thumb. Don't eat 3 hours before you go to bed. Don't drink anything 2 hours before you go to bed. And don't watch TV or get on your screens an hour before bed. Okay. It's the 3-2-1 rule. Try it. It's a post I'm going to put up here in the next couple of days. It's so important. And just like the very first one I said, that you're always trying something new and you move on to the next thing. Give this a try for 30 days. That you have to get all your nutrition before that. You don't skip out on your nutrition because it's 3 hours before bed. Make an effort to get your nutrition within the time frame of the day. Make sure that you get all of the hydration you need 2 hours before you go to bed, so that you don't have to wake up and go potty, which disrupts your sleep. And then that light really messes with your melatonin and your sleep cycle. So try it. I implore you to try the 3-2-1 rule. Okay. And see how that works for you. And you will see weight come off and you'll be like, wow, why? And it's because of your sleep, guaranteed. Okay. The last one, all of those, you're always, if you're not the person that's flighty and you're sticking to the same thing and you know it's the right thing to do because you listen to Melissa. You're tracking. You're very good at tracking your activity and your food. This is a lifestyle for you. You enjoy what you do. You're not complicating it whatsoever. You know that you're eating clean because you follow the right people. You are good on the weekends. And if, you have a little slip up, it's not a big deal. You get back on track. You're not worried about losing those last few pounds. You're very happy where you are. You have a great positive mindset. You sleep well, but you still just don't feel 100%. This is when I would tell you to get your levels checked. A lot of people come to me and the first thing they want to blame is their hormones. Yeah, I think it's my hormones. I can't get this weight off because of my hormones. First and foremost, I would beg to differ. If you're doing everything else right, it's your gut first. Okay. The gut needs to get checked. And there's plenty of ways that you can get your gut checked. You can do a GI map or stool test with me. Those are fun. I did that myself. I found it fascinating, but it really gives you a very detailed look at your insides and what could possibly be wrong. And also what's right, which is nice to know. Then I would look at the thyroid and I would look at the sex hormones to make sure all of those are functioning correctly. And if they are, that should give you peace of mind. Well, great, I'm healthy. Yes, I just really need to hone in on these other 9 things. Or you're like, okay, so, I'm going through perimenopause. My estrogen is low, it makes me a little lethargic. It messes with my metabolism. I can now, consider maybe doing hormone replacement or eat foods that really help balance my estrogens, things like that. Okay. So that's the last thing I would ask you to do after you've looked at all these other 9. The 10th one is going to seal the deal. And one of these 10, if not a couple of them, are going to help you get to the health and fitness goals that you have, that you're so determined to get to. And I know you're trying super hard, but you're like, something's off and I'm not sure what it is. I bet it's one of these 10 and we're going to get to the bottom of it. So tell me if one of these resonated with you. I would love to know if you're like, okay, maybe it is the fact that I tell myself I eat clean, but I eat 3 protein bars a day. Let's go back to single food meals. Okay. I'm very big into that. If you see my meals that I try really hard, because you guys asked me to take pictures of my meals. It's a beautifully seasoned chicken breast. It's a big old plate of vegetables. It might be a little bit of rice or, a piece of sourdough bread or something, but it's just single ingredient foods. There's just not this whole mess of stuff and hidden stuff and calories that you don't understand and macros you can't even begin to decipher, because it's a jumbled mess. Eat those single food meals and use your herbs and spices, people. Makes all the difference. So as always, I hope you wake up feeling prepared and you go to bed feeling proud. Love and appreciate you guys so much. And I hope this was helpful. Wow, we've reached the end. But before I leave you, I'd love to hear from you. After all, it's not every day that someone reaches out and asks for your opinion. And to me, your opinion does matter. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Melissa McAllister. And until next time, thank you for being your own health advocate.